Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams, joined by Callum Brannan, and today we will be doing the Carabao Cup preview. Obviously, we play QPR in the Carabao Cup. First things first, Cal, how do you think the game's going to go?
I think we should win. QPR are pretty good. I like QPR. I think they play some nice football. I think they've got a nice little team. I think we definitely won't go in worrying about, underestimating them, because we almost were punished in the Huddersfield game because of that. I think QPR also got a few similar players to Huddersfield in the fact of, people like, I don't know if Chair's fit. Ilias Chair, who can control the game. They've got Charlie Austin up front. Rob Dickie, who is unreal. Rob Dickie is someone I'd like to see at Everton, and I'm not even over-exaggerating with that. I'd love to see Rob Dickie at Everton. I think QPR have got some real players in the squad, and I think we need to be careful against them. But I also do think, they've conceded 12 goals in 8 games. They are susceptible to conceding a few goals. So I think if we send like a little rotated squad out, I'm not saying, send out the entire B team, but I think this would be good for people like Tom Davies, Jojo Kenny, even Jared Bramthwaite, Anthony Gordon. We were saying this earlier, might be the perfect time to give Ellis Sims a chance. I think it's a game where we could really see some players who maybe aren't in the first team, or maybe even are on the fringes where they won't get substituted on much, who could really, prove that they deserve to be in the squad for this season. I think this is the perfect game to prove that for them.
Yeah, I agree. It's certainly a good chance. Obviously, QPR sitting 8th. They played 8 games, won 3, drew 3, lost 2. Their losses coming to Bournemouth, who are a very good team and look like they could be in the race for the promotion and certainly the championship. And the other one being against Bristol City, who are on points with them, so a similar sort of team. I do think you're right in terms of the rotation. I'm about to ask you your starting lineup. Who do you expect to see playing?
Right. Begovic, Kenny, Holgate, and then one of the starters, Keane, Mina, Godfrey, one of them. Digne, because we've got no other choice. I feel like Alan and Decore need a rest, so I'm gonna say Davies Gabamin, because I think Gabamin's fit. There's nothing on the Everton website that says he's not fit. And then, well, it's kind of a 4-4-1-1, so I think Iwobi will start again. Because, I don't think Iwobi will start against Norwich, so I think he'll start against QPR. So Iwobi on the left, or maybe Iwobi on the right. I'm going to say Iwobi on the right, Gordon on the left, because it's either going to be Gordon in the 10 or Gordon on the left. You might play Gordon in the 10, and then I don't even remember who else we've got to play on the left. I don't think he'll play Gray. I think Gray deserves a rest. Townsend can play on the left, but I don't think he would. I don't really know. I'm going to leave the 10 spot with like a question mark because I don't know. And then I'd like to see Ellis Sims up front, but I think it'll be Rondon again.
Nice. But obviously you mentioned Solomon Rondon. It's fair to say struggled a little bit fitness-wise in the Villa game. But what did you make of him personally? Do you think against QPR he'll play? And do you think moving forward when he's a little bit fitter, do you think he seems to look like he could be a decent buy for us?
Yeah, I think he looks decent, especially, we paid nothing for him. I think his hold-up play looked quite good. I think his passing could have improved, but I think that naturally just came with the lack of game time. But I do think his hold-up play were great. He was able to push people off, use his strength to his advantage. He was battling for the ball every time. I think that's why he was so knackered. But yeah, I think a game against QPR, I think, like I said, I think Dickie's a really good centre-back. I think, it wouldn't surprise me if Dickie is able to, hold off Townsend, hold off Rondon and have a good battle with him. But I do think this could be where we, Rondon has his goal for Everton, his burst to life, I can still do it at a good level. But I don't know because, obviously if Rondon plays, it'll be 3 games in a week. So that's why I think Ellis Sims might start. But I'm a fan of Rondon. I don't think there was much to complain about besides obviously the fact that he got tired, but he hasn't played football in months. We can't, slate the poor guy for that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a matter of getting his fitness up to the right standard. I'm hoping. The one thing with Ellis Sims is we sort of are hoping to send him back out on loan in January. Obviously, with the current situation, that might have changed, but that was the original plan once he was fit again. I know Blackpool looked at him, but he was obviously injured. Blackpool, obviously in the Championship. This is a Championship club. It would be a good time to see how he copes with this sort of level. Do you think this could be a bit of a shop window for him in terms of a loan deal?
Yeah, 100%. Because he scores against QPR. Then you've got these lower teams, who are really struggling. Nottingham Forest can't score. I mean, I don't think they would because they've got Grabban and Lyle Taylor, but Hull have got Josh McEachran. What? No, is it McEachran or what's his name? Or is it McManus? I'm thinking of. Let me have a little bit of a scroll here. I don't know who. Seem to forget his name, but he's been caught offside like a stupid amount of times, like an absolutely ridiculous amount of times. Do you know what? It won't even take me that long to find out. I just got the Championship. It is. Oh, he's the whole forward, to put it simply, while I'm searching for this, is just a ridiculous amount of offsides. Like, I think he's got more than some teams by himself. So I think, they might look and see, you're decent, but you're offside all the time. So I could see a team like them looking. Peterborough have got a decent striker, but I think that might be the area we want to be looking. Even if, for example, the Swansea forwards don't pick up, I think we could really see someone like Ellis Sims go and thrive, because I do think he was good for Blackpool when he played. He got, was it the playoff final he scored? Or the semi-final, I think.
Semi-final, I think it was.
That's it. Yeah, Josh McGuinness, that's his name. He gets caught offside almost 2 times a game, so it's not. And he only has 1 goal in 7 appearances. So Hull, now I've said that, I really could see him going to somewhere like Hull actually.
Well, I imagine Blackpool and Critchley are going to keep an eye on him as well, just because they know of him. Looking at Queen's Park Rangers here, I've got some of their stats up. We'll get on to players in a bit because there's a couple of players, a couple of familiar names. Obviously, you've mentioned a couple of players you like the look of, but there's a couple of familiar names that people will remember from their stints in the Premier League in the top flight. But looking at their stats for this season, very good at getting their shots on target per match. They rate second, just behind Marco Silva's Fulham. But as a whole, they seem to struggle to create. They've only created 9 big chances, which is a massive drop off from Luton and Fulham in second and first, who've got 20 and 16. So it looks like they might struggle to create, but there's no. I don't think they're any easy team either. Looking at it now, they seem to be quite good at containing themselves. They've got a couple of clean sheets. Do you think it'd be a bit too optimistic for fans to just assume we beat them and we go on to the next draw?
Yeah, I definitely do think so actually, because I just think, us going in and underestimating a team, it's just, we know what happens then, don't we? You just, I think we shouldn't be going out there and having this ridiculous idea that, we're Everton, we're in the Premier League, they're in the Championship, know your level, blah, 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 stuff like that, because, they're a good side. And we've seen multiple times in these cup competitions, no one's safe. If you underestimate a team, they can really catch you. And, I think we're a team that's very susceptible to being caught in cup competitions. I think it's something we do quite a lot, where we just, the head shut off. And usually, like, for example, last season, we went out to Man U and Man City. You can't, but I can't think of a real example, but we've had some stinkers in cup competitions before. We're just in Millwall,
was a
in
stinker.
in the league, we do it all the time. just switch off and lose to teams we should be beating. So I just think they need to be careful and just can't play like we did against Huddersfield in a sense. We took Huddersfield seriously, and yeah, Huddersfield ended up scoring, didn't they?
Yeah, they brought the Huddersfield brought the fight to us. Obviously, it
Yeah,
didn't
but
Moise Keane being sent off, which won't happen this
yeah,
time.
but we took Huddersfield seriously, gritted down, and were able to beat them. In the end, I don't expect us, to beat QPR 5-0. If we win 1-0, I don't care. We're moving on to the next round. The most important thing in cup competitions is taking every game extremely seriously. Obviously, if you're like Man City and you get the easiest draw every time, you don't have to. But, for us, a cup would be a cup for Rafa. That'd be his piece de resistance. That'd be his, this is my proof I deserve this job to everyone who doubted me. So I think, he's going to put a real emphasis in this, and I think the players are going to put a real fight in this game.
Well, so they should. Like you said, there's been a couple of times where, not just in the League Cup or the FA Cup, but there's a couple of times in the actual league where I feel like we might have walked into games, assumed we'd win, hasn't gone our way, and then we sort of, don't want to say really low ball effort it, but there were a couple of times last season, but the Millwall one for me in the Cup screams just one of the worst times I've ever seen us play. But looking at the QPR squad now, there are some very good players here, some that people will remember, will know. The main one is obviously Charlie Austin, who spent a lot of time in the Championship. He's a very good Championship goal scorer, but obviously has spent time in the Premier League with Southampton and West Brom. I don't think he will necessarily play though, because they play Lyndon Dykes, who again is their top goal scorer. But another familiar name's Andre Gray. So there's a couple of players that we need to be careful of. Lee Wallace, who I think might be injured, but another good player. Who are you least looking forward to coming up against?
I think at least Chad's really good. I think if you want to watch, Chris Willock as well. Chris Willock's had a fantastic start to his season. I think if you want to look for a real creative threat, like if I can get that creative stats up here for a second, he's fantastic. I think he's a really good player, and I think he's really fun to watch. I think he's like he's not as relentless as Sorba Thomas, I don't think. But we saw what a player like Sorba Thomas did to us, and I'm just trying to find it here. But he's a really fantastic player, and he can be dangerous. He likes to go at players. He can create chances. But Willock, I'd say Willock, Dykes. Dykes is, if you've seen him for Scotland, he can be a real pain for some people. Willock, Dykes, Chair, Dickie's a good aerial threat, someone who could really punish us. And, he's even got, I'm pretty sure one of his goals is he ran through an entire team and then cracked one from outside of the box and scored. So I think with Dickie, the one thing that might worry us is if he runs at us, the players might get confused because he is really good on the ball and it might catch us off guard. And, I will keep raving on about Rob Dickie because, like I said, I'd take Rob Dickie at Everton now. So, I think there's a few players who really can catch us. Senny Dieng, the goalkeeper's pretty good as well. So I think they've got a good Championship squad, and I don't think it would surprise anyone if they make the playoffs this year. So, this is a playoff caliber Championship team. So it's a team that, could be in the Premier League next year for all we know. So I think we do have to treat them seriously. And I think we need to realise their threats. But I think Rafa will do that. He'll take a tactical approach to the game and try to nullify the threats that QPR have.
So what type of game do you expect QPR to give us? Do you think they will sort of press and go for it like Huddersfield? Or do you think they'll be a little bit more set back?
I don't think QPR are the type of team to really sit back. You've seen the 16 goals, 12 conceded, I think. I think that might be right. But, they don't sit back. I think that it's going to be just like Huddersfield again. So I feel like we might have more of an advantage because it's happened once. So we might be more prepared for it this time. But yeah, I expect a very similar to game to Huddersfield, where it's going to annoy some fans because of how nervy it gets at times. But yeah, I'd say I expect quite an exciting game for a Carabao Cup game.
Obviously, after this game, we have the draw again. Well, the draw after this game, but it won't be directly after this game, if that makes sense. But we will then, if we win, go back into the draw. And now we have the European big boys coming in, the likes of Liverpool, West Ham, all of them. Does it worry you that now we
Yeah,
have
because
European
yeah,
lads?
because we're gonna get Man City. We do every year.
I'm more
In the
worried about the other side of the park.
you know what? I'm worried about them all really, but you know what happens. You know every third or fourth round every year. It's one of the competitions we get knocked out early because we get one of the best teams.
I
You
wouldn't
know, I
mind
think
West Ham because our cup record against West Ham is of recent
yeah,
memories.
but it's Moyes, isn't it? Moyes just knows how to beat us. It doesn't matter who we have as manager, what type of football we play, who's in the squad. He knows how to beat us. But I think it's just I'd like a bit of an easier run. I don't think we ever get them. Can we have one this year? You know, preferably in the FA Cup, because But I feel like we'll get a Premier League side. I feel like that's almost guaranteed. I feel like we always do. But I think it'd be a good test to say if we got Man United, for example, because I think it would be a good proving ground to where we were at this point last season, where we did play United in the Carabao Cup. I think that might have been the quarterfinals though, because we actually did get quite an easy run until United, but I wouldn't mind it as a testing ground, because I don't think Man United will take the Carabao Cup as seriously, so we might be able to catch them off guard. Like Ronaldo doesn't play the Carabao Cup, he just doesn't. I'll be dead, but obviously they've still got Cavani, Martial, but I don't mind the test, but I also would obviously like to win a cup. So let hope for not an easy draw, but a draw that, is more, there's more of an opportunity to win. I think it's the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Try and avoid the big boys as much as possible. Is probably the best way forward. And a nice cup run would be quite exciting for fans, even if we could get to Wembley as well. Obviously, lifting it would be fantastic, but if we just get to Wembley, that'd be a big boost, especially because this competition comes before the FA Cup, so it'd be a good building post for us to sort of start putting the foundation blocks in. Rafa can look at it and go, it was a good cup run till this moment. Let's, sort of do that again, but not fall at this. And before we end, though, I will ask you for your score prediction and give us your scorers as well.
2-0 Everton. Alex Iwobi, and I'm going to back him, Ellis Sims.
Nice, very nice. Could be a really good time to see Ellis Sims make his debut. If you get it with a goal, that'd be really fantastic. I think the last time I saw someone from the academy do that was Pennington. If I remember rightly, scored and then either got sent off or scored an own goal against Liverpool. It was really unlucky. But that would be a fantastic way to introduce Ellis Sims to the Everton fans. That is all we've got time for today, though, on the preview. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment down below your score predictions, what you expect from Queen's Park Rangers as we play them, and who you'd like in the draw as well. Just comment them all, get the comments absolutely flying. And don't forget, you can buy all your Everton merchandise through the Everton link. It's in the description down below. Massively helps out the channel. We all appreciate it. And most importantly, stay safe.